I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with this for a second. What is the one thing you know you should be doing in your business right now? That one thing that would genuinely move the needle that you keep not doing. I'll bet you already know what it is. I'll bet it came to mind before I even finished that sentence. For a lot of people watching this, that thing is visibility. Showing up, putting yourself out there, creating content, going live, sending the email, making the reel, having the conversation. You know what you need to do. You know it matters, and yet you don't. Or you start and you stop. Or you tell yourself you'll do it when you have something better to say. Well, today I want to talk to you about why. Not the reason you tell yourself, the real one. This is what I hear constantly. I don't have anything to say. Every time I hear it, I think, that is one of the most believable lies your mind will tell you. Because you have been living a life, you have been running a business, you have been learning, growing, failing, pivoting, and figuring things out. You have conversations every single day that change how people think. You have a perspective that nobody else has. And because nobody else has your lived experience and your exact story, or built your exact business, or seen the patterns you've seen, you actually have plenty to say. So if I don't have anything to say isn't actually the problem, what is? In my experience, both personally and with the clients I work, it's never just one thing. It's usually a mix of three. The first could be a fear of judgment. This isn't always a conscious fear. Sometimes it's very subtle, like a background story you tell yourself of what will they think? What will my old colleagues think? What will my family think? What will the people who knew me before think if I suddenly start talking about mindset and business online? So instead of posting, you just scroll. You consume other people's content and tell yourself you're doing research. I've been there. The days pass and you didn't show up again. The second story is not feeling ready. There's a version of you that you're waiting to become before you'll allow yourself to be seen. Maybe you're waiting for more experience, more credentials, more certainty, to be more polished, more something. But that version of you is a moving target. You will never arrive at ready because ready is not a destination, it's a decision. The third is perfectionism. The caption isn't quite right, the lighting isn't good, you stumbled over your words, the idea isn't fully formed yet. You want to think about it a little more before you put it out there. Perfectionism's sneaky because it sounds like high standards, but what's actually underneath is a protection strategy. If it's not out there, it can't be judged. If you never fully try, you'll never fully fail. So nothing goes out and another week passes. Fear of judgment, not feeling ready, perfectionism. These are three different disguises, but one underlying thing: the belief that who you are and what you have to offer is not quite enough yet. That's the real reason. That's what's happening between your ears. So I'll tell you what I did. I showed up before I was ready. That's it. That's the whole story. There was no lightning bolt moment, no perfect clarity, no day I woke up and finally felt confident enough. I just started. Imperfectly, inconsistently at first, with content that wasn't as good as what I create now, and something happened that I didn't expect. The act of showing up before I felt ready, before I had it all figured out, before I knew what I was doing, it actually became the thing that made me more ready. The confidence didn't come first. It came from doing. That's not how we think it works. We think we need to feel ready before we act, but the feeling follows the action almost every single time. And the other thing that happened, people started to respond. And not to my most polished content, to the real stuff, the raw stuff, the honest stuff. The content that I almost maybe didn't post because I thought it wasn't good enough. That's when I understood that the bar I was holding to myself was not the bar my audience needed me to meet. They didn't need the perfect me. They just needed me to be present and to be me. I watch this exact same thing play out with clients constantly. Someone comes to me and they know visibility is the lever. They've been told by mentors, by peers, by every piece of business advice they've ever consumed: show up more, be more consistent, let people find you. And they agree completely. But then they go home and they don't post. And when I ask them about it, the answer is always a variation of the same thing. I didn't have anything good enough to say. I just wasn't sure if it was the right angle. I have to think about this more. Underneath all of that, when we actually dig in, it's this: I'm not sure people will care. I'm not sure I'm worth listening to. What if I put myself out there and nobody responds? What does that mean about me? That last question is the one that stops people cold because they've attached their worth to an outcome. And when worth is on the line, the risk feels unbearable. So they don't post. They stay safe. They stay invisible. And they wonder why the opportunities aren't coming. This is what I tell them: the post that goes out imperfectly will always outperform the perfect post. Always. Imperfect action is better than no action at all. So here's the question I asked you at the beginning: what is one thing you know you should be doing? The thing that came to mind before I finished that sentence, I want you to go do it today. Don't overthink it. Don't make it perfect. Not when you've thought about it more. Not when the lighting is better or the idea is more developed or you feel more ready. Go do it today, now. Maybe it's one post, a story, one email, one conversation, one thing that puts you in front of the people who need to find you. And if that voice comes up, the one that says that you're not enough or you're not ready, I want you to recognize it for what it is. It's not wisdom. It's not self awareness. It's not realistic thinking. It's just self sabotage. And it's happening where it always does, in between your ears. You already know what to do. The only question is whether you're going to decide that today is the day that you go do it. So let me leave you with this: every person whose content you admire, every entrepreneur who seems magnetic and visible and like opportunities just find them, they all started before they were ready. Every single one of them. The difference between them and where you are right now, it's not talent or luck or having more to say. It's just that they decided to go first, before the fear went away, before the doubt went away, and before they felt ready. You can make that decision today too. Drop a comment below and tell me what's the one thing you know you need to do that you've been putting off. Say it out loud. That's step one. Here's another video that you can watch that dives deeper into why we self-sabotage, and it's linked in the descriptions. If this video resonated, make sure you subscribe and also share it with someone who also has a message that they need to share so that the world can find them.